coolest station in the world. Today, we're extremely honored to have with us an exceptional musician, composer, and singer who sings both in Chinese and English in her creations, which are very contemporary and ancient at the same time. We have Zhao Dong Wei with us here, a Chinese artist. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much. Why don't we start by telling us about your work, your background, and your education, what you think, how you can, in any way you would like to do that.
Okay, I started when I was 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was a musician, and he started teach me. He thought I was too young, so he started teach my older sister, who's 3 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the night when we started, and in my house. I have a lot of neighbors because my dad was the one. He put a black and white tube TV together. So that whole street, will come to my house to watch TV after dinner. So the night when we started,
yes,
the mic.
yes.
So when we started, my dad started teach my sister, and I was watching, and because this is a two-string instrument, violin. My dad, we called it outside and inside. So
we call it outside and inside.
Yeah,
you said?
this
You can show us,
instrument
yes.
is two strings, and so the bow is tracked in between.
Mm-hmm.
So when there's inside is toward me, and then outside toward the audience.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad, the way my dad started teaching her was say play twice outside, play twice inside, and one time this, one time that. So she was react really slow when he was telling her, and I was watching. I was like, that looks so easy. And everybody laughed at me, and on my neighbors there, and they said, easy, you try it. So I jumped out. I was laying on the bed, and I jumped out. I couldn't wait to get my hands on it. So I basically react to what my dad told me what to do, and I basically ripped off my sister's chance to study this instrument. So I'm guilty.
Wow. Wonderful. And then you grew up playing it, and your dad taught you a lot of the base of what you know.
Yeah. So when I was 10 years old, my dad said, "Okay, it's a time to take you to see the world." So he took me like a tour to Beijing, Shanghai, those big cities, and then we took a boat from Dalian to Shanghai. It was really, really fun, and to meet the Erhu masters in the country. We were introduced about our friends. So my dad just want a confirmation. He said, like, if I can do this for a living. So everybody we met said, yeah, she should go for it. So the next year, we decided. My dad said, okay, let's take exam, try to get into the conservatory.
When you were 11 or 12, right?
When I was 11. So we took the test, and my dad said, okay. He got really, really, encouraged by all those comments last year when we were touring. He said, okay, we're gonna go to the best music school or not, nothing. So my dad always have big dreams, always that way. Like he worked really hard, and he dreamed, drummer.
Yes.
So we did that, and then we took the exam, and I got into the Central Conservatory Music in Beijing, like the middle school, which is that time was the same campus with the college. When I was 11 years old.
Wow, congratulations! Would you be able to let us hear what this instrument sounds like?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
You want me to do it now? Right
Sure.
Now? Okay. Move this. Need a little room. Okay.
If you have any questions in this broadcasting, please don't hesitate to call in, comment, share, and let us know what you're thinking. Wow.
Share making little noise when I'm playing.
Yes. Yeah, I think we're all wow, humbled, and it's the first time I've ever heard this sound and this instrument. So it's I'm sure you would agree with me that this is a very special moment. Could you remind us again the name of this instrument?
So it's called the erhu.
Erhu.
Yeah. Hu is like a Huqin family. Er in Chinese means two. So sometimes people think that's because they have two strings.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only one way to say it. Mostly it's the second highest tone Hu in the Huqin family. So
Okay, so that's what I
old.
wanted to ask you about.
Yeah.
You said the Huqin family. Is that
yeah.
is that related to tones and music?
Yeah, the Hu actually in the ancient days people call Mongolians Hu. So there's a saying that this instrument is from Mongolia, but lots of them disagree.
Okay.
So Huqin we have like we call Gao Hu. Gao means high, so the tones are really high, and then we have Er Hu, and we have a Zhong Hu, it's lower, and then Si Hu, Da Hu, all kind of Hu.
Okay. Yeah, and what is the difference between Chinese music, scale-wise, and Western music?
So the Chinese traditional music is pentatonic. We don't have a fa and ti, and that's a big difference.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes when you hear music, right, it's why that sounds Chinese because we're lack of two notes. We
Okay,
skip
all
the two
right.
notes. So in the piano, if you play five black keys,
Yeah.
if you don't know how to write a Chinese song, that's a secret. You
Okay.
should write song on all black keys. You'll be
Uh-huh.
Chinese.
Yes, yes, yes. And yeah, so there are no, like in Arabic music, quarter tones or other
No,
in-between tones. I
you
thought
talk
there
about that.
were.
It's very interesting because I did perform with an Iranian musician, and
Hmm.
when I was on the backstage, that was my first time that I played with an Iranian musician, Middle Eastern, and when I was on the backstage, I was hearing the stage playing. I said, "Oh my God, they're out of tune." Like, so my friend who said, "Oh, perfect for my ear."
Uh-huh.
Oh, like
Uh-huh.
I just got that. Oh, I did that at the time. I didn't know it was
Mhm.
like quarter tone, so
Mhm.
that was
Mhm.
very interesting.
Yeah. And now I'm getting curious about what happens at the conservatory also, because I just had a flash of, I know that, for example, African musicians, when they go to the conservatory or
Mm.
music school, the first year of their studies is all about making their own instruments. So probably that's not the case here, but
I
what?
wish we did that though.
Yeah.
I wish we did that. No,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't learn anything about making the instrument. That's too
Okay.
bad.
Okay.
But first thing we go there is to you must learn piano.
You have to learn piano.
Yes.
Okay.
So
And what kind of piano? Like Chinese piano
no,
or Bach?
No.
Bach.
Yeah, Bach
Okay.
exactly. Oh,
Uh-huh.
and then Bach is my number one.
Mm-hmm.
I love Bach so
Mm-hmm.
much. So yeah, Western piano, and then we learn to read Western music notations because
Mm-hmm.
when we learn this instrument, yeah, the difference is the sheet music looks different.
So do you think that kind of sheet music came into the picture one day, like before there was no music and it was just being taught from musician to musician, and then suddenly they decided to adapt the system of writing music down? And when did that happen?
Yeah, in the Chinese ancient days, they use letters, like the guqin, one of the most ancient
Mm-hmm.
instrument probably in the world. Um, they write in letters.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I brought one. I can show you.
Yeah.
But those are, they don't have a rhythm. They'll tell you what
Mm-hmm.
position and in that, and then which string,
Mm-hmm.
which is guqin is a seventh string.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll tell you where, but no rhythm. So when people find those documents, very ancient documents, only have that, then they start translating, right? And different composer, different player have a
Mhm.
different version of the same song. It's very,
Okay.
very interesting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then I believe, yes, one time this was taught, passed down people, and then start. I'm not sure when they start using the music, but the music, I think they adopted, they said, from the France. So that's why our music looks like Western. I mean, the value can totally translate to like an eighth note.
Yes.
You have a stem, and then one line to connect to. So we have you beam, the one beam. If you have one beam connect to, that's the eighth note.
Mhm.
In Chinese, we'll just have the numbers. In Chinese notations are numbers.
Okay.
So from 1 to 7, do re mi fa sol la ti.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And if we have an octave, we'll put a dot on top of the number or the bottom. If we have two octave, we'll have two dots.
Mhm.
So so the value translates to that. If in the Chinese notation, 2 eighth note will have the number and have a one stem, which is U beam to that.
Wonderful. And now I want to ask you, after going through all the conservatory, then when you reached the age of 18, then you went out in the world as a musician, or did you go into some other further studies? And how did you make the bridge from classical music and ancient music to contemporary? So that's a two-part question. So I'm wondering all of that, but the main question that I wanted to ask you was, how would you describe yourself as an artist? And I'm just gonna before Xiaodong explains this to us, I'd like to remind you that we are watching Creative Chronicles on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Share, like, subscribe, and comment. And thank you so much for watching WJZZ. And if you just tuned in, our guest is, as I said, Xiaodong Wei, and she is a contemporary and ancient musician and a composer, singer, and works with a fusion of American and Chinese sounds and compositions. So,
Yeah.
yes.
At the conservatory, actually, I graduated. I studied there 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I 18 I was in college. I graduated when I was 21,
Mm-hmm.
and at that time, when I was growing up, we couldn't hear much about the Western like rock music.
Mm-hmm.
I remember John Denver. We hear Western classical music and
Mhm.
a little bit country. That's
Yes.
about it.
Oh, yes.
And so and then later China opens more, and then we can hear
Mhm.
more of music. And then when I was in college, I always liked to sing and just play piano
Mhm.
for fun. And we had after I graduated, I worked in the orchestra called the Motion Picture Orchestra.
Uh-huh.
Now it's they were separate. Now they combined with the national China National Orchestra
Uh-huh.
of Chinese music musicians, and I worked there for 4 years before I moved to Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
And when I was in college, we started hear lots of rock music, starting the Chinese rock and roll started to develop
Mhm.
at time. And then I joined the band as all girl woman band,
Mhm.
girl. Okay, I'm learning that word for many years. Girl,
Uh-huh.
all girls band,
Yes.
and I played the keyboard in that band,
Mhm.
and had a lot of fun. And then when I came here, I hung out with a lot of Chinese guitar players, rock and roll producers at the time.
Mhm.
So
Are you when you came to Detroit?
no, when I was in China
Okay.
before I came here,
Mhm.
that's what I got exposed to different
right.
kind of music, and
Mhm.
that time
It was kind of like
know,
preparing you for coming to
Yeah.
Detroit.
yeah. There's I know Led Zeppelin before I came here. I know Led Zeppelin. I started learn about Enya. I started know Bjork.
Uh huh. Mhm. Yes.
So that
Mhm.
just really refreshing for me. Like, oh wow, it's
Mhm.
very different. So when I came here to U.S., I drove a lot across the country to do actually trade shows. I did something different.
Mhm. Mhm.
When in the end, the end of the year when I was working in the orchestra, and I have a friend who worked for American, and he said, "You want to come?" So she invited me
Mhm.
to dinner, and we had dinner with the American, her boss, and said, "You want to come to America? Take a look." Oh, sure. So, he invited me. Then I came here. We drove a lot to. I was helping him do trade shows. He had a
Mhm.
military surplus business.
Okay.
So when I was driving on the road, I heard lots of different music. I
Mhm.
really, really fell in love with the variety of the music.
Yeah.
So,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
that's how this all
Amazing.
started.
Mhm. 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 And what year was that you came to Detroit?
That was 1998,
Mhm.
first time.
Yes, Bjork was around that time.
Yeah.
Yes, and so since you've come here, then you started doing concerts, and how did you start seeing yourself as an artist? How would you describe yourself as an artist?
Well, when I came here, not another eye opening is my ex-husband. He's a big rock and roll fan, and he had a band before.
Mhm.
So I always play classical. One time we were playing a gig at a Magic Bag. He said, "Why don't you smash your arm? Make some noise, you know?" Noise? No, I cannot make noise.
Mhm.
Like that time we just started playing. Oh, he's the one that encouraged me to start playing, because when I came here, I didn't think anybody want to hear the arhu.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, I don't know what to do here yet. I'm really thinking about going to school, study something.
And now I have to go back to China and ask, how was your dad feeling about this? The one who put you on this path of arhu.
Yeah, my dad, when he came visit in Detroit, I actually invited him to play a concert. So that was concert. It's half classical, the first half classical, and the half is the band that was at the Arabic Museum. And
yes.
and my dad played a song with me. It's a rock and roll song. But when we practice at home, we can hear everything we have. But on the stage, it was really loud, and we play, live. Is really exciting. And he was angry.
He was
and me
okay.
after the concert, I
Yeah.
couldn't hear
Oh my
nothing,
God.
So, but he was, he's like lots of surprise for him, like, oh,
Mhm.
and then he said, Dad, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna perform on this, and oh, yeah, I was always kind of surprised, but he's pretty proud.
Mhm.
I think he's a nice supporter.
Mhm. Why don't we play one of your songs, okay? I'm gonna put the first song on,
Okay,
and you can tell us about it afterwards.
okay.
Here we go. Here is the song. I'm getting it on. 1, 2, and 3. I hope there's no. Oh, very good. Okay. That's beautiful. Uh, how do you prepare for a concert? How far in advance, and what do you do, and what is this piece about?
That piece is called a homemade caprice, the red plum caprice.
Oh.
It's written by composer Ho Yuan Wu. He's a professor in my school, the Central Conservatory of Music in Beijing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love that piece so much. It's a 20 minutes concerto, so we played on a part of it.
Okay. And when you get ready for a concert, do you start rehearsing for it many months before? Do you practice many hours a day? What's your I know it's being what you are is a lifestyle in itself.
Yeah, if I'm playing with the opera piece, like concerto piece, that'll be like few months,
Mm-hmm.
start to practice. I mean, of course, I practice often.
Mm-hmm.
Not every day.
Mm-hmm.
I should be playing every day, but not.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's just a concert, like a solo piece, like a few minutes, I don't particularly prepare for that. I just
Mm-hmm.
because the years of practice, I know what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
Just
Mm-hmm. And I know you have a daughter. You mentioned
Yeah.
when I was speaking with you,
Yeah.
and is she going into the arts at all?
Well, she used to play 4 instruments.
Uh-huh.
Now she only have 1 left because she keeps telling me I don't want to be a musician.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I had put her, she performed with me when she was 5 years old on stage. She was playing the drum set,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a lot of fun because when I was pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
all I think about her is I'm going to perform with her. I dream about it every day. I so want
Oh
her
my
to do
God.
this, but I'm not pushing her. But I want to give her the basic. I know she loves music. She just don't like to practice like most kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to give her the basic, foundation that if
Mhm.
someday she want to
Mm-hmm.
go full time, she can.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. And apart from your father, what kind of I think we did touch upon a little bit, but what are the influences on your work and on your life? Who are these people that influenced you the most, and why did they influence you the most, and when did they influence you the most?
most important people in your life is first your parents. In a sense, my dad, not as only as a parents, as a teacher, he take me
Mhm.
under this path. That's he's and my dad always study. He just loves study, and he
Mhm.
even when he's 75 years old, he plays flute, the Chinese bamboo flute,
Mhm.
and there's a technique called circulation braiding technique,
Yes.
and also Western flute use it.
Mhm.
And he started doing that. He studied, and I think he just, I think he influenced me so big because he plays many instruments.
Mhm.
That really made a big difference for me because
Mhm.
mostly my classmates in my school, this conservatory,
Mhm.
nobody plays more than like 2. Like
Yes.
we have to play the piano in the school, and then your major instrument. That's the most students do that.
I
And
have to do the station ID, and then you're going to continue telling us.
okay,
You're watching Creative Chronicles on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. And thank you for watching WJZZ streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, and other top social media channels. Thank you very much. Yes, continue.
okay. So my dad, just the way he loves study,
Mhm.
and he says bar real high. Like I said, when we first start, I want to go to the music school. He said, "We're going to the best one." Or nothing. He's like that.
And who taught him? Who taught him music?
Oh, he's self-study, self-taught.
Oh
Actually,
my
my grandpa and my grandpa's brother, they both worked in the temple as a musician. So they both play instrument. But my dad's he plays so many instruments, lots of them, self-taught. So he loves study, and he thinks I should be studying every day, which I do. And but his spirit just I now I more think about it. Just that's why I like, okay, if I can impress my dad, that'll be that was one of I think all in general all children want to impress their parents. That was the back in their mind and heart. That's what they want to do. For me, even more. So when I first, I always think I'm not good enough. Like I can do better. I can do better. I see that. And when I recorded my first solo CD. That's the time I finally get a nod from my dad. Like, okay, this is good.
Wonderful.
So yeah, he influenced me. He influenced me because he plays so many instruments. For me to play other instrument, I can just when I see an instrument, I don't think about I can or cannot. I just grab it and start playing.
Oh my God!
I think that made a big difference for me. I'm not afraid to touch anything that's played. That's because my dad, because he plays so many instruments, and he's my first big inspiration.
Yes.
Then when I went to the school, when I was 11 years old, and my professor, he was the master of Wu, and he was the first chair in the Chinese, one of the best orchestra. He was the concert master for 27 years in China. And he wrote a book that time when Chinese don't have a lot TV, broadcasted through the radio station. He wrote a book, so a lot of people learn art from his his radio, that book, radio theory. So, and he influenced me big time. I feel like there's two fathers in my life. He treated me like father, and artistically, and even in real life, he take me, to eat,
Is it
like
hard
that.
being far away from those two people?
Yeah, my professor passed away a few years ago, unfortunately, and my dad, I miss my dad, and luckily we can FaceTime, all that, video chat, and so that's not too bad, but I'd rather go there,
And so when you came to America, what have you been doing musically in the past decade?
Yeah, so like I said in the beginning, I didn't think I can do anything with the music. So my ex-husband Ken Hutton, that's his name, and he said, "Why don't you start play in the nightclubs, coffee houses?" I'm like, really? Like in China, we play in the theater, for lots of audiences. Like from here, I go to a coffee house. So like, I'm not used to it. Like, okay, he said, just do it. Okay. I just started playing, and soon, and he would put my if we have a show. I have show stuff. He'll put my flyer in the record store, stuff like that. So he make flyers, put out. So he really helped me started to, get on the shows performing, and because I didn't know I didn't know the country, I didn't know the culture.
And how did the people react to your music in coffee houses and these venues?
You just can't believe a two string and so tiny instrument produce a big sound, and they really liked it, and that really also encouraged me. And I could do something, with this. And soon enough, I got a call from Angela. From Midtown, Detroit, and she told me that's my first big gig for Festival of Art. Festival of Art,
And what kind of music did you play in that
whatever. So I said, okay. So I answered that call. I said, okay, tomorrow I have a guy who plays the mandolin. Let's shoot tonight. He was come out. So we started a band. We started a band. So I joined the band, and the three of us started playing. So then we went out. Wait.
Okay.
Yeah. It was, I think the first, I'm not sure if the first one show I played with band or by myself. But I just remember that and that's how I started playing. And we had three pieces, then later we will cover songs from Beatles,
with this
instrument as the solo as the voice.
Oh my goodness!
So I listen to this. Maybe I really love the song. I really want to sing because I always want to sing when I when I in China I did sing a little bit, but I didn't know the right technique to sing. So a couple of songs I'll have my throat. I couldn't. It just get hurt and I couldn't do it. So we had a doctor in my school. It's a specializing in voice. So I went there. That was when I was even in middle school. I really want to sing, right? So I went there and said, take a look at my throat, see if I can be a singer. So he said, open your mouth. So I said, he looked at it. He said, oh no, you're not good for a singer.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so you can sing.
Wow.
This bombed me so much, I was so sad. Oh my God. He said I couldn't sing. He's the expert. And then I just stopped a while. And then I really want to sing. I kept singing it, And but my throat hurt so bad. I was convinced he was right. I couldn't sing. So I stopped, but it was really, really sad. So when we had this band, when we were here, I said, I really want to sing, You just can't stop what you really want to do, It's just always there. I want to do it. So so the guitarist said, no, I just want to keep the instrumental band. I don't want to
So you had to do it yourself, right?
So the mandolin player said, why don't you sing? So then we had another guitarist join me and the mandolin, and we had a bass join in. So it became a 4-piece band.
Oh my God. So has anybody out there experienced the same type of thing that we're talking about right now, that you wanted to do something so badly, and there were people who you kind of looked up to, who you thought were experts, who constated that no, you can't do that, you're not made for that, you're not sufficient enough for that, or even some people, I've heard some people who thought they were told they have broken voices, so they thought their voice was broken which has you can't have a broken voice. I mean, it's impossible. So please share with us your experiences and let us know if the same thing happened to you, that destiny and the forces of life itself um, bypassed these temporary blockades. And when this happened for you, did you feel like it took you to a higher somehow spiritual power or something like that?
I was just happy,
Yes.
just so much happier
Mhm.
when I finally started singing. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna sing. Then I better learn how to sing correctly because I remember
Uh-huh.
my voice. So I start taking voice lessons.
And how do you sing correctly?
I
Tell us.
I took lesson from Miss Kate Hart. She,
Mhm.
so I went to her. So I told her the story. I've been told I don't have a voice. She said, "Oh no, voice is an instrument.
Uh-huh.
You can practice, and then
Mhm.
of course we cannot be OB Pavarotti, but
Mhm.
you can sing."
Mhm.
So I started taking lesson with her, and then
What kind of voice work does she do?
she's a jazz singer.
Okay.
She's a jazz singer, and
Mhm.
she I think she's a Grammy nominee.
Mhm. And you did
Yeah.
that in Detroit?
Yeah, in Detroit. In
Mhm.
Detroit, I started taking lesson with her
Mhm.
here, and after a few months, I can sing 3 hours, no problem.
Oh.
I was just so happy. Oh my God!
My
I said,
God.
"This is all worth it for me. Like, this is all worth it.
Can
Just
I ask you a question? I
come
don't
to
know.
America, just sing."
Oh yes,
Yeah.
freedom.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you,
Yes.
I didn't talk to you about this before. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Do you want to sing a little tiny bit for us?
My singing is not where I want to be.
That's okay. I mean,
uh,
you're a multi talented artist. You don't have to be superior in one thing. You do
okay,
a
I can
lot
try.
of things.
But
Okay.
if you want to cover your ear later.
Okay.
Right now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. 不知道为了什么，忧愁它缠绕着我，我每天都在祈祷，快赶走爱的寂寞。那天起，你对我说，永远地爱着我，千言万语随风飘落。
Thank you. That was so beautiful. It sounded almost like the spirit even of the instrument you play. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Very, very natural but very powerful and simple and beautiful. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're kind. Thank you for kind.
Yes. You are watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. This is Creative Chronicles. I'm your host, Biba Sheik. We are with Zhao Dong Wei, and she has made the bridge from China to America a couple decades ago, and she's a master musician who's bypassing boundaries and creating new languages, merging Chinese and American music, ancient and contemporary music. And I want to know, I'm going to ask you a very philosophical question now. I want to know where you are philosophically, like what are your meanings in your work? Like there's a lot of different art out there, and they all have different concepts and different belief systems, different, you know, thought patterns. I don't know, different ways of connecting to whatever they think the truth is. And so, what are the meanings and intentions, ideological intentions of your work, and what kind of groups do you associate with?
You know, for me, music always just pure joy. Like when I do it, I just having so much fun myself. I feel almost like think about it. I'm just selfish, being selfish. I'm just enjoying it.
Okay.
I do it. You know, I don't I'm classically trained, and then I have really open mind for things like, or if I never try to put myself in categories. What I am. I just go, even when I create, I don't think, okay, what style this song gonna be. Like, but lately I do have a project that I had a little thought to it.
Yeah.
So the all started from the Thanksgiving last year. I mean, the year before. This is already 2022. So I, in the Thanksgiving day, I woke up. I just sit by the piano. I start playing the piece. Just fooling around, and then play for a few minutes. Oh, this sounded good. I should record it and share it. I just feel like a Thanksgiving. I'm really thankful. So that song is called Thankful. I just feel, just thinking about, just feel,
That's what I wanted
feel
to ask you.
fortunate.
Yes. So the song you're talking about, the song you
Yes.
sang, right? Yes. I wanted to ask you, what were the words to that song, or something about the song? Yeah. And you wrote that song,
Oh,
or
that
your
song, no,
your
that was not my song.
that was
the
your
song I sing was like
teacher, right?
no, the song was called 千言万语, means 1,000 words. It's about love. It's a love song. It's like you told me you love me, you would love me forever, and then it's not. That's that kind of stuff.
Okay.
All the sad love songs. Yeah, that was that.
Yes.
So the and about the piano piece I played on the Thanksgiving. So I shared it like a couple of hours later. I shared on the Thanksgiving day, and so when my daughter came back in the afternoon, she went to her desk, and she come back. I played for her. I said, "Do you like the song?" She said, "Yeah, I like it." So I said, sometimes I hear some music like easy listening piano music. I said, "Oh, that kind of song, I can write a bunch of them." I sometimes I just say that to my daughter. I say, "You know what? How about mom sit there, write a bunch of them?" It's kind of, joke, and then like, no joke. Okay, I'm serious. So she says, "Sure." So I start writing, and like that week I wrote like 4 songs. I just sit there. And then I just feel like really like pouring out of me. I just sit there and write. I play a chord. Oh, it's good. So I start, and because this, like I call it easy listening music. Why don't I like? I did have this thought. Why don't I write something? This is nice background music. I can write something people can study and relax about it. Like when we were classical trained, I've always, I guess, lots of classical musicians or myself was like that. Okay, this is deep. This is great music. It's so deep. High class or deep. I said, why don't I write music for everybody? Like everybody can enjoy it. Don't have to have a deep music knowledge to enjoy it. So that's why that project started. So I started writing that album. That I'm hoping I can release that album this year.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And how many albums do you have out?
I have 2, 3, and I have a vinyl. I have two two full lengths and the EP. I have a vinyl, and I have a couple of them recorded. I have not published yet, but I have recorded.
I'm going to play the next song, and it's going to be very different from the one we heard before, right?
Yes.
And you'll talk to us a little bit. We only have a little bit of time, but here it
Okay.
is, and you'll hear the contemporary music. Wow, that was amazing. Have you for your country in a way taken this instrument to new heights? Are you the only one who's doing this with this instrument?
No, I'm not the only one.
Okay. Well, we only have 1 minute left, and I want you to tell people about your website, where they can contact you if they'd like a concert or to book you or for any kind of lessons or anything. So go ahead and give them the information.
Yeah, you can find me at xiaodongwei.com. My name, should I spell it?
Yes.
XIAODONGWEI.com. And I'm playing a concert March 18th with the Royal Oak Symphony. I'll be playing concerto piece with them.
Royal
Oak Symphony.
with the Royal Oak Symphony, March 18th.
Yes.
Yes.
And I have, my new projects is, I have Facebook, I have Instagram, I have a YouTube channel. Just look for my name, and I'm working on projects mixed with computer or this modern music with a traditional instrument.
Okay.
I did a music for WDT. They had called Artist Next Door. They commissioned.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining us. It was a great pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very much.